Colorado news. We saw Coach Deion, Coach Deion, as JB calls on, had a sit down with Joe Klatt recently and got a little candid about his plans for the future. I don't know. Do we have a video clip here? Yeah, just check it out.
To hear from you. What's your vision long term as a coach and maybe for Colorado football after Shedeur, Shiloh, and Travis?
Okay, let me start by saying I'm a leader of men, not a follower of men. I'm a father, not a baby daddy. I lead my sons. I don't follow my sons. My sons, Travis included, are getting ready to migrate to the NFL. I'm not following them to the NFL. I'm a bona fide leader. I'm a daddy, man, not a baby dad. I'm a real father. I paved the way for my babies. They're not paving the way for me. I plan on being here and being dominant because they are establishing something that we're gonna continue to build on for years to come. And I'm thankful that they're establishing what they're establishing.
There it is right there. I know there's been a lot of talks, JB, we've had on this show. If will Deion be here after his kids, go to the league and move on? And this is the first time, at least I'm hearing him actually speak out and say that he plans on being here. What's your reaction to that, Steve?
Yeah, I think he has to say it. But look, if you're going to recruit at a certain level, one of the ways you can get negatively recruited against is by having an uncertain future. And I've said it. I'd actually like to see Deion kind of play this out for 6, 7, 8 years and try to build this thing and see if he can really sustain something post Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Now, if you're going to be in play for some of the blue chippers, you have to let these kids know, like, hey, I'm going to be in your life for the next 3 to 5 years. And, look, he needs to build something here. He had a relatively short run at Jackson State. If he just ups and leaves Colorado after 2 or 3 years, I would be very wary of being the next employer of his. Really, I would be, because I'd be like, well, how long are you going to stay? Are you going to be my coach or are you going to be a carpetbagger? Nobody wants to hire a coach where the guy says, man, I can't wait to be here for the next 2, 3 years. That to me is like, you're off my list. So I'd actually like to see him stick around a while, build the program in his vision. Let's see where it goes.
And I agree. I want to see him be a great leader of men. So far, I don't know if that's the case, because I don't know if you can let a lot of men leave your watch to only attain and then regain new men every single quarter. I want to see him actually create a culture, create a group of grown men that understand running for the fucking hills is not the easiest way out, and it's not always going to work in life. I want to see that father. Like he just said, I'm a father, not a baby daddy. But to be real, I think he's a good dad. But I think he did some baby daddy shit with this whole Shiloh and this bankruptcy thing.
Yeah.
So let's not talk out one side like you say about me. Everybody in this chat, he did some baby daddy shit, but he just said he's not a baby daddy. We all do baby daddy shit, Smitty. I've done it. You're not a dad yet, but you've done baby daddy shit. Regardless if you don't know, you don't have to be a father yet to do baby daddy shit. Let's be real. So I think that he's got to stick to his guns. And Joe Klatt, I like Joe Klatt, but Joel was really, really soft in that interview.
Well, look, Joel's a Colorado guy. I get it. And I think Joe Klatt in his own mind is thinking, Deion, don't leave here. I stood up for you. I vouched for you. And quite frankly, I don't think we can get another high-profile coach following you. Here's the thing with Deion. Again, he inherited a one-win team. It's not like he had a roster with Eric Bieniemy and J.J. Flanagan and Chad Brown and Alfred Williams and Deion Figures. Coach, he had to gut the roster. And if there is something in place where you can expedite the process and you don't have to do it over 5 years of recruiting and going through the traditional JUCO route, I'm actually not that critical of him. Now, here's the thing. If he's in his 4th and 5th year at that institution and it's still this mass transfer every year, now you have a problem, because that's a vacuum you're going to create. Like even with Mario Cristobal, I'm going to say it, Mario, if by year 5 you're still bringing in 20 players a year, I'm actually going to question your evaluation skills, because I still believe, and again, we're going to have to do this, Smitty, and I'm not going to do it because quite frankly, I'm lazy. But what I would like to do over the next 3-4 years, get every playoff team in this 12-team playoff, actually go through their roster and actually do a percentage, a study. What percentage of this roster is homegrown? The kids that we signed out of 12th grade, national letter of intent. How many kids are JUCO kids? And then how many kids are actually transfer kids? In my view, you look at Michigan last year, they might be the last homegrown national championship squad. Because I think about 85 to 90% of those kids were all signed by Michigan coming out of 12th grade. But I want to see what is going to be like that ratio of how many kids do you have that are signed with you coming out of high school. Is it 50-50? Then if it's 50-50, then everyone's going to do it. Look, Georgia, I think, is a pretty good program, right? Yeah. Coach, they had about 20 guys leave. So
Alabama had 34.
Right. So they had a coaching change. So that's a little bit different. Or maybe teams are going to do it like Ohio State. I look at Ohio State, that's a loaded roster. If Will Howard can give them above average quarterback play, I don't know how many games they're going to lose, if any, in the regular season. I'm just telling you, Ohio State, they're really putting the pressure on Ryan Day to say, Ryan, we're going all in. Yeah. Michigan is gutted. This is your year to win the Big Ten and to beat Michigan and take us all the way to the title.
Yeah, so, and Urban Meyer spoke out recently and said that he thinks this might be the most talented roster he's ever seen, like for Ohio State standards. So I'm like, yeah, it's saying a lot.
I mean, look, last year their quarterback play, no matter what the number said, there's a reason why he's at Syracuse. I remember watching the Penn State-Ohio State game. I was in Miami. It was the day of the Clemson game, but I remember watching a pretty good amount of it. If they would have had, let's just put it this way, if they would have had C.J. Stroud, they would have won that game 38-3. There are so many throws that were left on the table. And Will Howard, who's not a great natural arm talent, but if he could just make routine throws, that team is going to be dangerous. Trust me, I don't see a lot of teams are going to be able to match up with them for 4 quarters.